to really appreciate nature, you have to get out and commune with it. A few tips from our friends at Bivouac help make camping and hiking more enjoyable to both us and the planet. It's a walk in the park.
So if I wanted to get into this as a first-time hiker, what kind of equipment do you recommend someone purchase?
Well, you want to get something relatively small, light. You can keep it pretty simple. You don't have to get too involved. But I got a bunch of things up here we can run up, take a look at, and get some better ideas.
Okay, cool.
So we've got a bunch of things up here, and it can seem pretty overwhelming at first. I mean, there's over 130 packs and 100 sleeping bags hanging up.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I like to try and start people over here. I kind of set up a little display as just a starting point. People think when you go backpacking, you gotta haul 50 pounds worth of stuff, and
Yeah, really.
I mean, that's not a lot of fun. And so what I've tried to do is show people, hey, look, you can do this with 10, 15 pounds worth of gear and go out and have a lot of fun. You got your sleeping bag, your tent, stove, everything's here.
What else would you recommend, especially a starter?
You know, you got to have something to carry it in. I had a guy come in a few weeks ago and he asked me what the most zen backpack was. And my initial response was no backpack at all. And then I started thinking about it, and you need something to carry your things in. I mean, it's just practical. If you're going very light, you can go for about 4 or 5 days in a pack this size. And the advantage of a smaller pack is it's going to be lighter weight. So this isn't for everybody, but it's a starting point. It's a possibility, kind of a frame of reference, if you will. The most common problem I see with people buying packs is that they buy them too big. The top of their hip is actually, if you told them to put their hands on their hips, they kind of roll up and push in, you're on top of that bone, and when you push down there, your hands can't go anywhere. And that's where you want the center of the hip belt. Now, to do it right, we actually have a frame sizing sheet, basically.
Oh, okay.
And it takes out all the guesswork.
It's kind of like the shoe thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the Brannick device at the shoe store. So
Oh, it has a name?
Yeah.
I just call it the shoe thing.
Just look through and find the point on the back of your neck. And so, as it turns out, you're going to be about an 18-inch torso. Why don't we go ahead and throw this on?
Okay.
And bring that around and tighten it in.
I can feel the microphone jabbing me in the back.
I'll loosen those like this. Let's go for a hike.
Okay, cool.
See what this thing's all about.
Yeah, I'm totally ready.
All right.
With my brand new, free, I might add, backpack. So where have you brought us this afternoon?
Well, we're at Nichols Arboretum, actually pretty much within Ann Arbor city limits. Hospital's just over the hill over here. So it's a nice place to go for a day hike. Might be carrying a little more than we need for a little day hike, but just kind of part of the fun. Well, why don't we just go down and take a look at the river. One of the things we were talking about, the different ways you can lessen your footprint while you're out here. You want to try and go someplace where you're not going to cause more erosion. So if you want to go down someplace like the river, you want to try and use an established trail. We don't want to take something where no one's really been down before. There's not a trail, because you will tear up grasses and kick down dirt and things and create more erosion, create more runoff into the river and stuff. So a lot of people think if they take biodegradable soap, you can just wash right in the river, right in the lake or whatnot. And even though it's biodegradable, you actually still don't want to use it in the water. Just by the nature of the way the soap works, it's going to break surface tension, and that can interfere with respiratory functions of fish and water life and things.
I would have never thought of that.
Take a pot full of water back into camp, into a designated wash area, and do your stuff there. you know, later as we walk, you might find me splashing through some puddles and creating a good mess. And that's one of the things, you see people sidestep puddles a lot, but you really want to just stay right on the trail, walk right through the puddle. The grassy part that isn't covered in mud is what's keeping that soil in place.
Right.
This doesn't seem like a bad place to stop for now. The kind of field behind us, you can see a lot of dead grasses and things in there, and that can actually be a good place to set up a camp sometimes, because grasses do hold back erosion and things. But you don't want to go and start your stove in that stuff.
No, I wouldn't think so.
You know, so if you find something like this where you do have some just hard dirt and some stone and some things, this is a good thing to set up. Might as well take our packs off. You know, we talk about lightening our footprint on the earth. Well, if you take less stuff, you're using less stuff. You can lighten your impact there. If you're buying quality things that last, you're lightening your footprint there. And bottom line, it's a lot more enjoyable just to hike this way. I tend to keep my rain jacket right in the top of the pack. The sleeping bag, this weighs all of about 14 ounces. A sleeping pad, you know, you need some kind of cook pot. You need some sort of mug, stainless steel water bottle.
Hikers.
You know, you always need to have a spare pair of socks.
You do not want swamp foot.
This is a 3-person tent, a little organizer bag, a compass, first aid stuff, and depending on where you're going, some kind of mosquito head net. Preserve your sanity a little bit, especially if you're in the swampy area.
Doing this as you're walking through.
You know, if you're on a tight budget and you're just trying to get started, you can probably find most of what you need right in your closet. And if you can't, just a quick stop down at the Goodwill will be fine.
I mean, I would have never thought of dress pants as being something to hike in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you pay $3 for them or something, and they're good. Pretty much everyone has some sort of fleece jacket or fleece vest, so you have your primary insulation. Stoves, we looked at those in the store, and this is really all you need. And this is just a very small, very light, good stove. So I think I have Gatorade with me, just a little bit of Gatorade, but we'll just kind of heat that up and call it good. Lighting wise, they're really easy. You just turn the valve a little bit, and that's it, it's going. The Gatorade I've got in there is actually already boiling. That's at 3rd throttle, so if you burn it a little lower, then better fuel conservation.
Yeah.
You know, everyone wonders, what do you do about going to the bathroom? And everyone has their personal preferences, but I don't carry toilet paper anymore. And that sounds pretty off-putting to a lot of people, but I use leaves. And the reality is, the leaves are every bit much of a barrier as toilet paper would be.
As long as you know which.
Well, don't grab the poison ivy,
yes.
right? Yeah. But regardless, I do carry a little tube of hand sanitizer. And I think there's a certain appreciation we can get from life and for life when we're outside. And you know, even if there's just a trail and a preserve like this, walking that every day, you can see how the grasses are growing more, and you can see how different birds are coming out, different flowers are in bloom, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that, a lot of comfort in that.
I hope with all you've learned today that the next time you take a step outside, you see your surroundings as more than just surroundings, because the earth matters.